Police officers have been hurt, 200 arrests, 144 vehicle fires. These are statistics. Local police have put out 15 structure fires. There's no excuse for that kind of violence, right?
Yeah, and there's no excuse for the 7 people that the Baltimore City Police Department has killed in the past year either, right? You are suggesting this idea that broken windows are worse than broken spines, or worse than broken spines, or worse than broken spines, right? And what we know to be true is that the police are killing people everywhere.
From Baltimore to Yale, Campus Reform reports that Black Lives Matter activist Deray Mckesson is getting a new gig teaching leadership courses at that famous university in New Haven. This is the same guy who got into it with Sean Hannity after he asked him if he made a living off protesting. Watch this exchange.
For a living, you want to set up a 501c3 tax-exempt organization? Is this your profession now?
You know, I'm somebody who's focused on justice. Is this a question that you are asking me because I'm a person of color? Would you ask white people this too?
It has nothing to do with race. It has to do with, is this your profession? I ask you, you know, you're tweeting out that you're a professional protester. Is that?
If you've actually looked at my tweets, you've heard me say that I'm actually unemployed. You want this to be that narrative? You want this to be that narrative?
Mckesson, star of Twitter, is going to be teaching at the famous Yale University?
It was included in our daily newspaper, but they really glossed over who he was and just mentioned that we'd have a great leadership course being taught at the Divinity School.
Okay. I guess what bothers me about this is not that he doesn't share my politics. Most people don't. He's liberal. Yale is liberal, of course. Not an impressive guy. Just kind of a race hustler. Just kind of a race hustler. Just kind of a race hustler.
We have Nobel laureates teaching at Yale, and he just really doesn't meet the criteria for a Yale professor.
Yeah.
I pay over $60,000 a year. The Divinity School is over $25,000 a year, and now we're seeing our money go to bringing professional protesters to campus instead of real professors. Honestly, I've been in love with Yale my entire life, and I'm disillusioned with them for bringing such a person to school, to campus to teach. We're supposed to be leading and creating the future leaders of America, and yet we're letting them be indoctrinated by men like this.
I often think about storytelling, and as Black people, we face these issues of erasure, and erasure often manifests in 2 ways. One is that either the story is never told or is told by everybody but us. Because if it were not for Twitter, they would have convinced you that we did not exist. If you had only looked at CNN in those early days, you would not have known about the woman who was on the corner every day with her grill making hot dogs and hamburgers for the protesters. You would not have known about the people who cleaned up on West Florissant every night at like 3 o'clock in the morning. You just would not have known those people. You would not have known about the medics who taught us what to do with tear gas. You would not have known about the Palestinians who tweeted us and told us what not to do in unrest. That all of those things were stories of dominant culture that the mass media was not actually telling, but it didn't matter because we could tell this story, because we could tell this story, because we could tell this story.